So hey guys, this is Mike Murtis with I Remember, a off and on reoccurring series, and was downstairs actually cleaning up some arcade stuff and recalled a couple memories of this game right here, Killer Instinct. Killer Instinct is a pretty awesome game back in the SNES era fighting games. It was after Street Fighter. I want to say this probably came out like 1995, yeah, 1995. And this was an interesting game because it was right after Street Fighter, right after Mortal Kombat, and this is when Nintendo was, pretty much past the point of saying, we're not going to have any violent games anymore. And this was the one that they kind of published that said, okay, we're done playing nice, we're done playing the censorship role, we're going to go ahead and release this stuff. So yeah, Killer Instinct being the first one to do that. I never got a chance to play it in the arcade when it was out. Now there was tons of promotional stuff for it, Nintendo Power, trading cards, move lists, there was stuff in other magazines as well, but Nintendo Power being my magazine of choice, that was the one that really had all of the in-depth Killer Instinct info for me. And I actually just remembered this. The first time I ever saw Killer Instinct was in the Donkey Kong Country video that Nintendo sent out as a promotional thing. And if you watched after the credits or at the very end of the tape, really cheesy segment where the host walks into the secret room in the treehouse and you see Killer Instinct being played. Now, I can't remember if that was after Killer Instinct was already out in the arcade or if it was before, but I think that was like the first time I ever really saw it, and I don't think you could tell that they were playing Killer Instinct on an SNES controller, but it was a really cool teaser, and that was the first time I ever saw that, and finally getting a copy of it for the first time. It was actually 2 days before its official release date, and we had a pretty good reputation with the local video store in town, and I remember making the phone call and going, hey, is there any chance that you guys got Killer Instinct in? And they were like, yeah, we got it in. Normally it'll be out in 2 days, but tell you what, you're a really good customer. We're gonna let you rent this early. So they didn't even put it in the computer as Killer Instinct yet, and they let us rent this thing. They let us rent Killer Instinct, and not only did they have the game, they gave us the manual, but they also let us rent the awesome Killer Cuts music CD. And I was already kind of in electronic music and stuff at the time, but I loved video game music. I was digging the Donkey Kong Country soundtrack, and here you go. Here's the Killer Instinct Killer Cuts soundtrack. Just tons of awesome cuts that really enhanced the music. I think even more so than the arcade version. So I didn't have a CD player at the time. My sister did. So we ended up going into her room, putting in the CD and recording it to tape. And while it was playing, I remember playing Killer Instinct and just being in love with the different characters and the combo system and the overall challenge of the game. And when I was done listening to it, I stopped playing the game, stopped the tape, took the tape outside, and it was pretty late at this point, but I used to, as a kid, take my Walkman. This is probably why my hearing is as bad as it is. Just to take my Walkman, go out to the swing set there, middle of the night, sit on the swing essentially back and forth, and just listen to all this different recorded stuff. And this night, on that time, it was Killer Instinct soundtrack that I was listening to, and I freaking loved it. And I love the game so much that we actually put the game on layaway after renting it over at a Walmart the next town over. And I got it brand new and had it, got the strategy guide and everything for it. I actually have the original player's guide back in the closet there. And just one of my favorite fighting games overall. I really wanted to love Killer Instinct 2, just couldn't get into it, still can't get into it. And I always thought Killer Instinct Gold, which is really just a combination of Killer Instinct 1 and 2, sucked as well because it borrowed more elements from Killer Instinct 2. Just couldn't get into it. And the new Killer Instinct that's out, because it was really a pay-to-play kind of deal, I really couldn't get a feel for all the characters, so I never really played it. And really never gave it a fair chance. So if that ever goes on sale again, I might get it. But in my heart, Killer Instinct, the original release, was the best. I'd actually love to get an arcade board of it, but $400 is a little much for any kind of arcade board. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to play the version that I'm most familiar with, and that is the Super Nintendo version. So this shouldn't be too long, as long as my skills are somewhat decent at playing this game. But yeah, there's the box. There's the manual for it. There's a player's guide offer. And I actually have a really good box copy of that, and that actually has the Killer Cut CD with it. So alright, enough blabbing. Let's get into this and see how we do. Let's switch the camera over here, shall we? That's better. And if the audio is a little weird, guys, I'm using a totally different microphone than I usually do, which is Bluetooth, wireless, a little different than the headset. Trying to wear headsets less and less these days. So if it sounds like shit, I apologize. I'm not really going to know until we find out here after watching this. So let's get right into this. One player game. Now, favorite characters in this game. Now, even though I'm a Ryu guy, Ryu, when it comes to Street Fighter, I never really dug Jago. Thunder and stuff. ORCHID, not too bad. But my guy, TJ Combo. Now, not knowing the arcade version of this thing very well, this game looked freaking amazing. Knowing the arcade version as well as I do now, though, now you can tell that they really had to pull some punches to actually get this thing to work on the Super NES. But still, the translation is pretty decent. It's not bad. And I still appreciate the combo system in this game. It just flows so well. Don't remember any of the finishing moves. Now in the arcade version, that was actually a full cut animated scene that they obviously couldn't translate into the Super Nintendo version. Who's next? ORCHID. Now, if this is anything that Nintendo didn't care about censorship anymore, they left the finishing move in that allows ORCHID to pull her shirt off. And basically, you know, I don't know if she's got some really nasty boobs or what the deal is, but from the sheer look at them, your opponent dies. And they kept it in this version. I know you can't really see anything, obviously. It's just implied, but, you know, a Nintendo prior to Mortal Kombat, never in a million years would they want that. Ooh. I gotta start remembering how to do combo breakers. That was another cool thing, knocking people off the buildings in this game, sending them crashing to their doom. I remember there's a secret stage you can get to. I think like both players have to hold like down and select or something, but it's like in the air, and I think you can knock your opponent off like immediately. There's like no barrier. SABREWULF is another character I used to play as a lot. I always used to have the most issues with Riptor and, of course, EYEDOL at the end. Sometimes full gore. Oh, that just combo breakered me. I don't remember how you do those. It's been too long. I should have broke out my strategy guide for this. Some stages in this game definitely look better than others when it came to translating this to the Super Nintendo version. Obviously, there's not a big scale of things you have to worry about like in other stages, so... There we go, there's the Ultra combo, I think. If you hold... what is it? I think you can hit once more after that. But yeah, back to what I was saying, you know, smaller scope of a stage, so they don't really have to take out too much. Like Jago's stage really had a lot of the background stuff butchered. Cinder stage. GLACIUS, really cool song on the Killer Cut CD. Controlling Transmission, one of my favorites on the Killer Cut CD, which I actually think is based on this character's stage. Oof. Interesting enough, now that I think about it, this is one of the few fighting games I know of that doesn't have throws, which is kind of interesting. Me and my brother used to go back and forth with this game all the time too. Full blast, annoying the crap out of my mom. Oh, here we go with Riptor. Let's see if I die here. Now, funny enough, they actually ported this game over to Game Boy as well, which is kind of interesting. And it's not a terrible port. Not too bad, anyway. I mean, I think it's more playable than Street Fighter 2 is on the Game Boy. But the fact that they were able to put that together, pretty amazing. Riptor's kicking the shit out of me. Come on. It's gonna be close. Gonna be close. I think if you hold... I think if you hold X, do the rotating punch method and time it just right, you can score one more extra hit on that. Now, there's an Ultra combo and then an Ultimate combo. I don't remember which one's more. I think the Ultimate combos were less rather than the Ultra combo. Combo versus combo. Come on, charge, charge, charge. Nice. Another awesome track, the Cinder character off the Killer Cut CD. Very, very heavy track. And actually translated pretty well on this version of the SNES game. This might be my first loss here. Ooh, that was a close one. Spinal could be a pain in the ass too in this game. And that's why. Bad timing for that one. Got me. Forgot when you're in your last moments there, if you hit the buttons fast enough, you can actually recover, and I think you get a little bit of a stat boost from that actually that does more damage. So do up to 3 continues here, and if I can't do it after 2 more, then I'll call it an end to this video here. Now see, if I remembered my combo breakers, that would be no problem. Let's see if we can pull this off. Closer. Continue number 2. Alright, here we go. Caught your bony ass that time. And he's gonna knock me off the building. Nice. Ouch.